Good afternoon, passengers. This is the pre-boarding announcement for Flight 372A to Kansas City. We are now inviting those passengers with small children and any passengers requiring special assistance to begin boarding at this time. Please have your boarding pass and identification ready.
I am from Finland originally, however I moved here from Ireland. Well, when I was 1 year old, we moved to New Zealand for a bit. There, we stayed there about 4 years till we went to Australia for the better weather. After that, we moved to Sweden. However, Sweden isn't a good place to be. So we moved to Ireland, and then my dad got a transfer to California, and he took it because the weather here is really beautiful.
My dad, I know he immigrated here when he was in middle school, and my mom came here later to get her PhD. They moved together here to San Diego. So two kind of different stories because immigrated here much earlier than the other.
My family is from Hong Kong. We immigrated here almost 6 years ago, 2019, mostly for the better education. And we have family here. Moving to the US has affected my life by really changing the environment that I'm growing up in. Like in Hong Kong, a lot of the people were different and the way we interacted with people was a lot different. It really changed the person I became when I grew up. One thing I really miss about Hong Kong is my family and the people I left behind there.
Well, I very probably have ADHD. I remember when I told my parents, I was really nervous due to some slight miscommunications in the past, but it turns out they already knew, and they thought I knew that they knew, but due to poor communication, I thought they didn't believe me, and it was all really relieving. I figured out they did believe me. It was pretty neat.
When I was little, I had this very distinct image that every single Chinese kid was super social, smart, and disciplined, like carbon copies of each other that were perfect. I feel like comparing yourself to your peers, especially as a child, is inevitable, and we're kind of shaped by how we view ourselves in society. But the fact that I was comparing myself to this totally unrealistic image that didn't actually really exist, the basis of that idea, I don't think it's healthy. I feel like if I had continued down that thought path, it would have led to extreme perfectionism and stuff like that. I think that having immigrant parents has definitely affected my mental health in the sense that it's put a lot more academic rigor into my life, and I was pushed to have more hobbies, more activities, get higher grades, stuff like that. And those things inevitably will cause more stress in your life.
I came to someone close to me when I was struggling a while ago. It didn't go the very best, mostly laughed it off. I think because both of us were really young at that point, I think that didn't know how to handle it very well, and I don't really blame them for that because they had apologized to me. It impacted how I would talk to people about my mental health afterwards. I think people, children especially, are more comfortable around their friends and their family members is because they know that family members, they're stuck with you forever. They're gonna know you forever. Friends, though, they come and go, and you can really choose what you say to them, but family know you a lot better.
My mom also had a lot of cultural shocks as she watched me go through the American education system. We couldn't really approach school the same way as she would approach school in China, so that was definitely really different.
Definitely someone's cultural background can influence what they think of mental health. Certain cultures tell you to just suck it up, might have a more of ignore it approach to mental health. For example, in Finland in the early 2000s and in the 90s, they didn't teach about mental health, and the suicide rates were massive, the biggest in Europe. However, once they started teaching mental health, the suicide rates dropped to the level that's rather similar to America. So it's kind of dumb not to teach people about mental health.
Mental health is a really big part about your basically emotional well-being, and it plays a huge role in how you grow up, who you turn out to be. And if we do not teach the next generation, then they might have to resort to other methods of keeping themselves there. And it's a lot better to teach the future generations about these kind of stuff than have to leave them to figure it out for themselves. I think immigrant children are taught a lot differently about mental health than children in the US. At least in Hong Kong or China, a lot of value is being placed in how we present ourselves. My parents would always tell me we always have to present our best, and if our best wasn't really, really good, they tell us just not to show it at all. That we should stop to reduce stigma and make people feel more open to talk about mental health. We should stop putting so much pressure on people to like be happy, be good, be okay. And if someone does tell you, hey, I'm not doing okay, I'm not feeling best, you should like believe them, take their word for it, and try to help them any way you can without like disrespecting their boundaries.
To understand that you matter. You are more than a fancy job. You are more than a salary. You should be yourself. There's nothing wrong with striving for the best, striving to be good. You have to remember to not let that consume your personality and to still be a person.
It's really easy to think that it's just the end and the struggle's going to be the end of them, you know, that mentality. And you'll always have struggles, but you'll always get through them.
My advice would be to don't like lock yourself down. Try to find a support group or like someone to listen to, even if it's just like 1 or 2 people, and make sure that like you make yourself heard. And if you do need help, make sure that you go get it and don't like suffer by yourself, because you're not gonna find any help that way.
Hey, can I talk to you about something?